We're going to work with anxiety. Anxiety arises, and it literally rises up. We can feel it in our bodies when we overthink, and the nervous system is triggered to send signals that things aren't okay, and that's from overthinking. Anxiety also arises from challenging events or experiences that we're having, and that snowball effect, anxiety rising as we're in the middle of challenging experiences. And so what we'll do is close our eyes, take a comfortable posture. If you're seated, feel your feet flat on the floor. Feel your seat resting on the chair. Feel the weight of your upper body, your torso, being held here by gravity on the chair that you're sitting in. Just sit comfortably and feel this weight of the body. Feel gravity holding us here. And sometimes when we feel anxiety, it means we have just this rush of thoughts coming through, a sense of overwhelm, that things are too much, too hard, too fast, there's too much to do, and it immediately triggers this sense of doubt or inability and just these kind of wild, untamed thoughts. And when that happens, we can just zoom in to one tiny little detail and experience what's happening in the body. This is our way to start to welcome the anxiety. And that sounds like, why do we want to welcome this? This doesn't feel good. But welcoming it, becoming curious about it, understanding more about it, just like if we have other health symptoms and we start to understand them, understanding the essence of anxiety will help us resolve it, work through it, move past it. So we start now by feeling the contact, feeling grounded, feeling the contact with the earth here, feeling our sit bones, feeling the backs of our legs, making contact with the surface underneath. Just start to bring our focus within, and we can do this gradually. Anxiety can feel overwhelming, so we do this gradually and with care and kindness toward ourselves. And we start with the weight of our body here and this natural hold, this stability that we have through gravity holding us here. And then feeling up the spine, up to the shoulders, and in the head. Just scanning through the body. Noticing if we can soften a little bit around the spine, along our posture. And recognize how stabilizing and grounding and caring our connection through gravity is to the earth here. We can find a sense of stability in overwhelm, in a moment of overwhelm, just by recognizing our contact with the floor, the earth below us, and the force of gravity. And then we can bring our attention to our breath and feel the breath coming in through the nose and filling up the body all the way down to the lower belly. Noticing how the body expands and This is an intentional, slow breath, filling up everything on the inside, noticing the movements. On the exhale, you're really expelling everything, releasing all of the air out through the nose and just releasing everything out. And on the next inhale, notice where you feel this tightness, this pressure, this density. Perhaps it's in the belly, along the rib cage. This sense of just a gripping or a dense spot in the body. And the breath can help us pinpoint where we hold on to this anxiety, this overthinking anxiety that builds up within us. Notice, perhaps in the chest area, along the rib cage, perhaps in the upper chest near the clavicle, along the shoulders. Maybe we feel it in the throat, this raw, knotted feeling in the throat, this dense pressure in the chest, this tightness maybe somewhere along the rib cage. Notice perhaps it might be in the forehead, in the eyes, in the space between the eyes, along the back of the jaw. Can you come up close to where you feel this sense of tightness, where you're experiencing something that's very obviously uncomfortable? Can we come up close? Perhaps it's in the throat or the forehead or in the belly. Can we bring our focus, just like we brought it to our seat, can we bring it up and just start to welcome and make friends to this tight, gripped, clenched, raw place? Maybe find words that describe it, not judging it, just describing it. So you're analyzing it kind of like symptoms. How does it feel? What are the textures? Does it feel burning, very sharp? Is it dull and aching, hot or cold, or both? Does it feel raw, rough? Just start to notice and understand where we hold anxiety in the body, because if we're feeling anxious, this rising anxiety from overthinking or from an experience, we're storing it somewhere in the body. Find these places or place and see if we can breathe right in. Breathe right in, feeling that the breath is going right in there directly on the inhale. Breathe into the tight places and invite a welcoming. It's okay, welcome, you can stay. You're a part of me, and it's okay. And then on the exhale, just invite a softening. See if you can breathe in more and just really plunge all of our focus into kind of these tight, raw, dense, gripped places. And then soften and release. Just let go on the exhale of whatever is willing to let go. And then really just again hold your focus into this tight space, and you could imagine, we can use our imagination. Our mind has this excellent feature to it where we can bring in our imagination and really help work with overwhelm and anxiety. So this tight place, could we place and put a little bit of space around it? Could you imagine just a little space around the tight spot? Can we make space? Can we allow it to be here? Work with the space around this clenched spot in the body. And perhaps we can notice that it may be moving or shifting or softening even slightly. This practice is really no different than in strengthening our ability to understand our energetic anxiety and work with it and start to heal it. It's no different than strengthening a muscle. We're becoming more and more familiar with where we hold tension, and we can start to work with it through our focus. So these are practices, and you can use these practices anytime we start to feel the sense of anxiety rising. And it immediately launches us into this negative tailspin of thoughts. And when we start to pay attention to and notice that the anxiety is here, we can start to become curious. Breathe into it. Can we make space around it? And just like other emotions, they start to move along and move out. And it may take some time. But this is the best form of self-care. We all face so much anxiety in our current culture. So see if you can work with these practices over time. So take another deep breath in, feeling the whole body. And releasing and softening on the exhale. And then feel the space of the room that you're in. If you feel hear any noises in the background of this video, just let those go. The distractions, they're just everyday distractions that we all have. Just stay focused on the space in your room. Breathing in, feeling what's here. In the body, in the room. Releasing, letting go. And you can open your eyes.